The reason why you're not able to bring home that six-figure paycheck from your floral design business is honestly because you're not pricing your floral arrangements properly. We're going to fix that because in this video, I'm going to show you my exact approach for pricing for profit. Hey flower friend, my name is Francesca. I am the founder of the Hotel Florist, and I am on a mission to help florists create consistent income without relying on weddings. To date, florists that have entered my world have generated over $4.5 million in hotel contract value alone in the past 2 years. I've personally learned from all the lessons that I'm about to share with you inside this video when it comes to pricing for profit and bringing home that six and even multiple six-figure paycheck from your floral business. And if you watch until the end, I promise you, you're gonna save so much time, so much hassle, and so much money by learning the lessons ahead of time so you don't actually have to experience this in your own business. All right, so lesson number one is relying on unstable weddings and events. This was really holding me back from bringing home a six-figure and multiple six-figure paycheck from my floral business because I was constantly chasing brides. I was constantly being burnt out. I was working 6 days a week and never really actually enjoying my business or what my business afforded me to do. So in the beginning, when I became a florist, I didn't really know who spent money on flowers. And so naturally, I just went to brides because they spent money on flowers, and I thought that as long as I got a bride that had a big enough budget, then I would make enough money and I would be really happy in my business. But I was so wrong. And what happened instead was I was constantly being negotiated with, whittled down. All the effort it took to land one bridal client, one wedding client was quickly replaced with the next client, and I was just really running out of the assembly line of brides. Not to mention, I was getting really irritated with having to just do whatever someone else wanted me to do. I was literally just here to execute someone else's vision. And though at times I had some creative freedom, it really was just duplicating whatever was trending at the time. So I was uninspired, I was burnt out, I was not spending any time with my family. And this whole idea of creating a business to give myself freedom was like still a dream for me. I was just trying to stay afloat. So this lesson was a really hard lesson to learn as I was just relying on weddings and events. And come 2020, we quickly realized that all of a sudden those streams of revenue were really unstable. They were gone in 2 seconds. There was nothing really contractually holding them to continue to fund our businesses so that we could continue to stay afloat. And if we were not profitable in our floral businesses, then we were not sustainable, and a lot of those businesses crashed overnight. So my approach when it comes to pricing your floral arrangements, especially when we're pricing for profit and especially when we're pricing for that first six-figure, multiple six-figure paycheck that we want to bring home from our floral business, we have to stop relying solely on wedding and event income. The only time I have a little asterisk here, a little exception here, is if weddings and events truly light you on fire, like you are a wedding florist through and through. And honestly, if you're a wedding florist through and through, you're probably not even watching this. You're probably irritated. You're probably off doing weddings right now because you love doing weddings. So I am really speaking to the florist that knows that you're here to do incredible things. You have an insane talent. You have all this creativity bursting at the seams. You really want to make consistent income in your floral business. You are ready to take home that six-figure paycheck and or replace that six-figure paycheck from your weddings and events in a more sustainable way. That's who I'm speaking to right now. And so in order to make that happen, we've got to stop just solely relying on weddings and events. All right, now lesson number two was that I really thought for a while that seasonal business was sustainable. And it's absolutely not. When we think that all the seasonal business is like that next thing that we have to go and chase, there's nothing sustainable about that. In fact, it's just essentially replacing weddings and events with hypothetical dates on a calendar that are somehow going to generate more money for us. So what do I mean when I say seasonal income? What I mean by that is like our Valentine's Day, our Easter, our Mother's Day, our Thanksgiving, our Christmas, like we really gear up for these holidays and we give it all we've got. Whether that's you're throwing spaghetti at the wall or you're just constantly promoting your offers, you're constantly thinking, what are the new designs we can create? What's the photo shoot we need to have? How do we start with our social media campaign? What about all the email newsletters? Oh, by the way, then the sales maybe trickle in. Now we've got to make all those arrangements. Now we've got to ship all those arrangements. Now there's some people that aren't happy, so now customer service is bogged down. Meanwhile, you're still trying to run a business and you don't have consistent income coming in. So seasonal work is not sustainable. In fact, it is a really great opportunity to get burnt out. So especially if you're a flower shop owner or you're running any type of brick and mortar component in your business, you are going to have the tendency to want to gravitate towards seasonal income thinking, oh my gosh, this is it. Oh my gosh, huge cash injection. And while that can be true, for example, like holiday decor, like you could have a $20,000 cash injection in the end of your year to set up a bunch of Christmas trees. Is this really sustainable? Is this what you want to spend your time doing? So for me personally, I was chasing seasonal income in the beginning because weddings and events weren't really working out for me. And I thought, well, it's guaranteed that people are going to buy flowers on Valentine's Day. So let me go all in on that. So what did that look like? I still remember pressing buy on a $5,000 rose flower Valentine's Day order while my Uber was sitting outside to take me to the airport to quickly get away for Christmas and for New Year so I could come back and start promoting for Valentine's Day. I had not sold one flower for Valentine's Day, but I was already $5,000 in the hole. But I was like, we got this. We're gonna totally make this work. And so the whole time I'm on my Christmas and New Year's vacation, I'm worried about how I'm gonna sell these $5,000 worth of flowers. How am I gonna make Valentine's Day at least a $15,000 event? Like at least $5,000 to cover the expenses. And so I come up with the arrangements. As soon as I get home, I'm still jet lagged. I'm like making these arrangements. I'm hiring the photographer. I'm building out the website. I'm putting all the flowers online. And then I'm getting on social media and I'm telling everyone about our Valentine's Day offers. And it like never stops. You just sell. And then you have your deadline to close the sales, but you still have flowers you know you need to sell. And so now you're like, oh, how do I sell these flowers? I can't really run a promotion right now. So you kind of like hope for the best. And then you need to hire the team, right? You got to hire the team in advance to come and condition all these flowers and to design all these flowers and deliver all these flowers. And I still remember at the end of that day, I had hundreds of stems of roses that I literally threw in the air, and I told myself I was never gonna do a Valentine's Day again. Like that $15,000 that I made that one day just was not worth the stress. I was like, there's nothing sustainable about this. There's nothing fun about this. The fact that we're here to support and be excited about love, I don't love anything about this. And so I think we really need to be honest with ourselves. Now, if you're a flower shop owner and you're like, Valentine's Day is my most favorite holiday of the year, then this is not for you. You're not watching this video. I can promise you that. But if you're like, oh my God, thank God somebody has talked about, some florist has finally said, you know what? Valentine's Day is not sustainable and I am not into it and I'm not into how expensive things are and I'm not into like how much work it is. Hallelujah, there's another way. Then keep watching this video because I am going to be talking about how to price your floral solutions so you can actually pay yourself properly as a florist. So I'd love to know in the comments down below, are you ready to stop relying on weddings and events? Like, are you like, hallelujah, someone's actually talking about this. I knew there could be a better way. And or have you made the mistake and you're ready to now like release the idea that seasonal work is sustainable? Also, at the end of this video, I am going to be talking about a free masterclass that I have. It's how to create consistent income in 6 weeks without relying on weddings. So stay tuned. I'm going to tell you more about that towards the end. All right, now in this third lesson, which is deciding on alternate ways to actually create consistent income in my floral business, this is really when we get into my approach to pricing flower arrangements. So let's dive in. The third lesson, like I said, that I learned is like, there's gotta be an alternative way. Like there's gotta be a way that I can set up consistent revenue streams in my business so I can kind of just You know that like deep exhale we're all looking for? So that comes from consistent income and not chasing the brides and not waiting for the next holiday. Like, no, it starts today and you creating consistent income. And I'm gonna go over the 5 different ways that you can do that in your business. So the first one are subscriptions. I feel like anybody can have this in their business. Subscriptions are a really great way to, 1, build a network, 2, build just monthly money, revenue coming in, profit stacking. You can sell subscriptions on a monthly, quarterly, annually, 3 years from now basis. You can package them around holidays. You can package them around your skill set. You can package them according to like what people in your community are looking for. You could package them around senior citizen homes, funerals. I mean, the list goes on and on. So subscriptions, start thinking about what type of subscription can I set up for my clients. And if there's a part of you that's like, oh, but no one's going to pay for that. Let me tell you what, I have a subscription with a razor company, like very random, that sends me makeup wipes, by the way, they're phenomenal, that sends me razors, razor blades, shaving cream, as and when I want them. So it just blip, plop, poof, lands into my mailbox and I don't have to think about it. And I've never had a dull razor since, and my face is always clean at night. So you can create a subscription for anything. Trust me, because I could also go to Target and buy razors, but I don't like leaving my house. So I would much rather have a subscription where I don't even have to think about when I need to buy a razor again. It just poof, drops into my mailbox. So subscriptions are key. Think about what would make your life easier, or what would make your ideal client's life easier, or your mom's life easier, your best friend's life easier when it came to flowers or the other products that you're currently selling in your business. The second way are flower bars. And flower bars are really incredible because you can either bring people into your studio or you can bring your flower bar to them, and they can set up events around your flower bar. So they buy out your flower bar and then they give it to their customers, their guests. So flower bars are a really great way to create consistent income in your business. It's a really great way to actually capitalize on those more seasonal holidays if you wanted to. But trust me, flower bars are a year-round thing, and it's time that you just start selling them. And if you need help selling them, I have an entire little mini course on how to sell flower bars. Message me down below in the comments and I'll include the link. Okay, so the third way to create consistent income in your floral business and to get you to that 6-figure, multi-6-figure paycheck from your floral design business is luxury retail. We're talking Tiffany & Co., we're talking Chanel, we're talking Etro, we're talking Jo Malone, like the list goes on and on and on. Luxury retail needs flowers inside their stores. They need flowers for their events. They need flowers for their VIP customers. Dolce & Gabbana literally hired me to spray paint certain types of hydrangeas so it looked exactly like the Hortensia collection, so I could deliver them to their VIP clients and inform them the Hortensia collection is now in Dolce & Gabbana. Like literally, luxury retail are always looking for florists to help them. The fourth way that you can create consistent income in your business is through corporate clients. So I'm talking luxury real estate, I'm talking legal firms, I'm talking oil and gas, I'm talking energy. Like, what are the corporate clients inside your city, your town, your community today that are looking for florals? So usually looking for florals around holidays, around gala events they might hold, fundraisers. Like, they do need flowers. And so what is a corporate client that you could go ahead and approach today that you could land within the next month, quarter, that would create consistent income for your business? And the fifth one, which is my personal favorite, are hospitality partnerships. Hotels, 4 and 5 luxury hotels, they will hire a florist either 1 year, 2 years, 3 years to create all the florals inside their hotel. Not only are you the designated in-house florist for that hotel, you also typically get first dibs on all the events that come through. So companies like Apple that I would have never had the opportunity without my hotel client, or at least not as likely, became one of our top producing clients because they came through a hotel client. So you do all the flowers in the hotel, that's agreed upon. I'm going to talk about that next, how that works. And then you're able to benefit from all the in-house orders, the guest orders, the day of orders, and the additional corporate clients that are coming through the hotel. So when it comes to my approach on how to price flower arrangements, and what I mean by that is pricing for profit, the fourth lesson is pricing properly through your pricing and the payment structure. So it's hard for me to go fully in depth in this. I talk about this a lot more in Petals to Profit, but I am going to also cover it in a free masterclass I'm going to tell you about here in a minute. So when it comes to pricing and payments, this is my fourth lesson. The fourth lesson is how am I pricing something and how am I getting paid for something? And a lot of us, especially when we're starting out in our businesses or we're kind of pivoting across industries, we don't really think about this and it becomes very reactive. And in fact, especially for us women, there is this like really crunchy side where we want to be nice. We don't want to be too aggressive. We don't want to be too upfront. We don't want to be too pushy. We don't want to sell too much for fear that someone might banish us from the tribe and deem us unworthy from the unworthy gods. But the bottom line is if you want to bring home a multi-six-figure paycheck from your floral design business, you've got to get really clear on the way that you price and really clear on the way that you get paid. So let's talk about contracts. Anytime that you're working with a corporate client, for example, let's take a hospitality partnership, you're signing a contract. You're not going in that hotel installing something until there is a signature on that dotted line and you know exactly when you're getting paid. For me personally, it was at the beginning of the month. For the month, the contract was signed for 12 months out. I always knew what was expected. This allowed me to hire. This allowed me to be able to pay my bills. This allowed me to sleep better at night because I knew when I could take home a paycheck to my family. Like, contracts are so incredibly important. Please never think that you are above a contract or contracts are going to rub people the wrong way. Contracts are a really beautiful piece of paper that outline boundaries, and they also outline, hey, this is what happens when our agreement doesn't go according to plan. And it doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. It means that we're all on the same page when things might not go according to plan. So the moment that happens, it's like, oh, I actually don't want to be in this partnership anymore. How do I cancel? Or, oh, I don't actually like this week's install, so can I get out of the contract? Oh, I don't really want to renew this contract. How does that work? Here's the renewal clause. Like, everything is inside this contract, and it's so incredibly important for you to get that signed. Now, let's say that one of your luxury retail clients doesn't want to sign a contract. Let's say they're like, we don't do contracts. And you're like, great, then you can pay us in full. When a client pays you in full, that is a contractual obligation. They have given you money and you have received money. Therefore, you are contractually obligated to do something with that money. The likelihood of them ever coming back for that money is very slim, just like the likelihood of you not delivering what they've paid you for is also very slim. So if you ever have that client who, for example, it just goes against company policy to sign a contract with you, then you can always say, in order for us to work together, then we would have to receive payment in full. Now, if we're talking about subscriptions, a great way is to get paid in advance. So here's the subscription idea. Let's say that you bulk your top 3 holidays. So let's say that's Mother's Day, let's say it's her birthday, and let's say it's an anniversary. You sell this as a subscription, and you sell this as a subscription around Christmas time. So you're like, never forget flowers for her in 2024. Or we don't want to assume that her loved one forgets flowers for her, because then that would just be like stating the obvious sometimes. Maybe it's like, make her feel even more special next year, and we will take care of everything. And let's say that it's like a white glove service, and a week before her birthday, they're getting a personalized phone call from you saying, hey, Charlotte's birthday is next week. We have her favorite flowers coming in, irises. Is there anything else that we should know? Is there a certain color? And you do that 3 times, all of a sudden you've already booked 3 pieces of business in the next year, but you've been paid for it now around Christmas time. Like, you've received money in full now. The cash is here now. You don't wait 30 days after you've made a delivery. And lastly, when it comes to pricing and payment, I want you to think, like, where am I actually leaving money on the table? So for example, inside my program, Petals to Profit, the consistent income system, I talk about how there was a time there that I left 25% straight off my entire ticket, which is 100% profit. I left that off my invoices. I didn't want to be pushy or look like I was trying to nitpick or make more sales, which I don't even think that that is a successful way to think as a business person. And so once I started adding my 25% to everything I was charging for, I was making 100% of that to my profit line. And so where are you leaving money on the table? And if you're not really sure, you need to start thinking about where can I be more supported in my business? What are the mentors I can hire? What are the programs I can get into? What's the coach that I could work with in order to make sure that I am not leaving anything on the table? As I mentioned earlier, I do have a free masterclass. It is how to create consistent income in 6 weeks without relying on weddings. And there is a very specific part of this masterclass where I highlight the consistent income secrets. I highly recommend this masterclass, especially if you're in a point right now where you're like, I'm ready to make this year my biggest sales year yet. I'm ready to take home my biggest paycheck yet. I'm ready to be open about different ways that I can create consistent income in my business, different ways that I can price my floral arrangements for profit. This masterclass is for you, and you can click the link down below. As always, if you want to keep in touch, I highly recommend heading over to Instagram. Follow me at the Hotel Florist. I'm on there every day giving little tips and tricks. And if you found this video helpful, leave a comment down below, especially if you're done relying on weddings or if you realize that seasonal holidays are just no longer sustainable. And as always, keep blooming, flower friend, and I'll see you next time.